It's Sony Trinitron aperture grill. Okay, here it is in all of its glory. This is the Sony Trinitron. This is the KV-32FV310. There is a 27-inch model. It's either 27 FV310, 32 FV310. You know, that's the size, the screen size. The biggest that came in, I believe, is 36. So this is the middle size one. This is the 32-inch version, and yeah, this is widely considered the best standard definition or SD television ever made, hands down, pretty much across the board. When you go to like CRT forums or AV forums and you ask, this is the TV that usually comes up as the best SD TV, especially for retro games. Now, another TV will also come up. I believe it's the XBR 960. That is also a Sony set. That is an HD set. Some people claim that is the best set for retro gaming, but it is an HD set, so you're going to have all the problems that come along with an HD CRT, such as a little bit of ghosting. There's still a bit of lag, because even though it's a CRT, it does upscale a little bit. So you're still going to have all those problems, but some people swear by those sets. I cannot comment on them because I have never seen or used one. But yeah, this is, you know, the best. This is as good as consumer SD sets got right here. Now, I knew about this set because, of course, you know, I check out those kind of forums, so I've heard talk about this set. But I wasn't really looking for one. But when the Samsung I had, I learned doesn't do too well with 240p. And I kind of just wanted an SD set. At the time, I didn't have a larger PVM, which I do now, actually. So, now last week, well, it was like 2 weeks ago now, I picked up that JVC monitor for free off the side of the road, and I was using that. And you guys might be wondering where that is. And I mean, put yourself in my position. I don't have space for these kind of things. And it was either the JVC or this guy. And I've always just wanted to try this TV out. So unfortunately the JVC had to go. I didn't have room to store it till someone bought it, so I cleaned it up. I put a nice big sign on it that said, free TV, works great for retro games, and I put it back out on the curb. And you know, sometimes when you do things like that, someone will come along and they'll pick up the TV and they'll take it home and they'll love it and they'll use it. And sometimes people will come by, flip it over, chop off the power cord, walk off, and then you'll have kids come up and throw rocks at the screen. So yeah, you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. It's a damn shame, but anyways, yeah, I was just perusing Craigslist. This TV came up, it was really close. It was like 20 minutes away from me, and it was free. So you can still find things like this for free. The hardest part, though, is just finding a friend to move this thing. I am not strong. Most of my friends aren't that strong, and thankfully my one friend, Nick, helped me out transporting this thing. It's almost 200 pounds. It's like 178 pounds, and I was crying by the time I got this thing back here. I mean, literally, getting it out of the car, I had to drag it to my apartment on, like, sleds. Like, I found, like, pieces of wood and, like, put it on it and dragged it. I mean, 200 pounds might be a lot to some of you guys. Maybe you have bodybuilder friends, but you've never really seen me in these videos, but you can tell by, like, I'm not like a strong built guy. So, neither was my friend. So it was rough. So I'm just going to talk real quick about what makes this TV supposedly the best SD set ever. And then, of course, I'm going to show you it in action as well as I can through the eyes of this pretty crappy camera I've been using on my YouTube channel for 2 years now that I really need to update. Anyways, what makes this set so great? Well, of course, obviously it's SD. It uses a Trinitron, which is, it's debatable whether the Trinitron aperture grill really does that great over a certain screen size, but it's well regarded. It's pretty well built. Has a lot of inputs. I think we've got like 3 composite, 2 component, 2 S-video, although my composite on the front isn't working, that's a shame, but you've got like 3 RF things on the back. It's got a lot of input options. Sound on this is one of the best sounds I've ever heard on a built-in consumer CRT. It actually has a built-in subwoofer. Some people will say that that's actually a bad thing because all that vibration from the subwoofer can over time knock the tube out of alignment, or the beam, the electron gun. I don't know about that. I haven't seen that kind of issue really, although it did have some geometry issues and I picked up. Maybe that was because of the subwoofer, but I'm telling you, the sound, like these thing grates on the side, this is all, like, on the JVC it looked like this, but like only part of it was round where it was actually a speaker. This is all, like, the sounds coming out. It just sounds pretty good. You can get this thing really freaking loud with the built-in speaker, but it has a lot of interesting technologies in it. This was at the very end of like SD tubes, so it's got all the bells and whistles. It has Dynablack technology for like blacker screen images. It has a 3D comb filter for when you're using things with like composite input. That's the best comb filter. I do not know the horizontal resolution. Sony was iffy about telling how many lines this TV has, and they claimed it was because there was no industry standard, as I said in my JVC video, and there might be truth to that. I don't know. If someone knows, please put in the comments. I do not know the horizontal resolution of this TV. Let's see, what else? The big feature that this thing has that is not that I do not think it's in any other consumer television I have ever seen is there's actually it has a power regulator, like a high voltage regulator built into it, and that's pretty much to prevent blooming, like color blooming and whatnot. Now, some people I've read actually like having the colors like bloom because it gives them more of a nostalgia retro feel, but yeah, this is the only TV I know of ever built, at least SD consumer set, that has that. Okay, so now that we've gone over why this is supposedly the best set ever made, SD set, what are my opinions on it? This is gonna sound weird, but I wasn't impressed, and I attribute that to kind of like 2 things. Actually, let's put something on this because you're probably getting bored just watching a blank screen, and I'll talk and I'll explain while there's something playing on here. Okay, so here's the better. We've got RCA stereo. We've got a composite. We've got 2 components, which I have things hooked up to at the moment. Then we have 2 more composites and 2 more RC stereos, and then we have an S-video, which I have, that's the N64 that's plugged in there right now. And then we have 3 RF jacks there. So yeah, a lot of connections. I actually have the remote here. So listen, you're gonna hear that great boom. That's the degaussing of these Sony sets. That's beautiful. Takes a minute to warm up, like a lot of these older sets, and there we go. Okay, so I have my PS2 running here. It's running Disgaea, however you pronounce it. That actually has a weird PS2 game because it outputs, I believe, in 240p. And this game would give weird stuttering on my Samsung because I believe it was being upscaled, so there was a lot of lag. Beautiful on this television. Anyways, what I originally said about this set, that I said I wasn't that impressed. And I think I attribute that to 2 things. One, I've been playing on a little 14-inch PVM for non-HD stuff for like 6 years now, maybe 5 years. I'm sorry, this thing does not compare to a PVM. It just doesn't. A lot of people says it's very PVM-like. I don't know. So, I mean, I was pretty spoiled. So that was one thing. The other thing is, this thing was not like tuned or set when I got it. So the colors were off, the geometry was way off. Now, I've been able to fix some of that playing around with the service menu and stuff. I've been able to fix the geometry a good bit and the colors. I'm not really a whiz at that. I would love to have like a professional come in and calibrate this TV, but I cannot find anyone that does that anymore. You call her all around for like TV repair places. The guys don't touch CRTs anymore. Even simple things like just coming in and calibrating it, no one will do it. So, I don't know. This is about as good as I can get it. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, the image is good. It's got really good scan lines. Still images are great. When I'm playing this game at night with the lights off, I do look at this thing. I'd be lying if I didn't sit there and look at this and be playing it and being like, wow, that's a good image. But I mean, there's some things I don't like that I haven't been able to fix. When it scrolls, there's a little error here where it like, I forget what it's called. I don't know if that's the, it just, you can see it. There's a little bit of a scrolling issue. Now, I'm sure that can be fixed playing around in the service menu, but I wasn't quite able to. There's also some geometry issues. There's like some bending up at these tops. It's very slight, but again, that can probably also be fixed with professional calibrations. But yeah, I mean, like really good scan lines. It's a good TV. It's a great TV. I think as long as you don't buy in too much to the hype and expect something that's gonna like blow you away, because some people I talk to really, it's like it's an epic picture, and I mean, maybe like I said, I think my problem is I got spoiled on PVMs. So when I saw this, it was you know, compared to other consumer sets, you know, now that I look back and I am comparing to other consumer sets, yeah, this is a really great picture. But it's not a PVM, you know. But I mean, there's some advantages to that. One big advantage is the size. You're going to have a really hard time finding a PVM over 19 or 20 inches. They are out there, but they're really rare and expensive. Whereas you can find things in this size, 32 inch, 37 inch and up, really cheap and easily. So you do trade off quality for screen size. And I think a system like the PS2 kind of benefit. I like the PS2 on a bigger screen. I think that's partly nostalgia. I used to play my older Super Nintendo and stuff like that on a smaller set, whereas when I got to the time that I had a PS2, I was using a bigger set. So it just feels right to me. So there is that. Keep in mind this thing does up to 480i. It does not do 480p. Let's see, what else was I going to say about this? But yeah, so you get a bigger screen size, so that's one benefit, and that's great for if you have like friends over for a multiplayer, like let's say Mario Kart N64 or something like even Super Nintendo multiplayer games. Even with the 20-inch PVM, you're going to have a hard time getting 4 friends that want to sit around and play on a 20-inch screen. Where you have something like this that's a 32 or up, your friends might be more liable to be like, yeah, that's a cool experience. Yeah, let's do that. So that's one plus if you're into like hot seat or, you know, like couch actual multiplayer with actual physical people in the room with you. That's another good benefit of the larger size of these. So I think that's about it for my little overview. We'll do some closer looks with the camera, the TV, and that's about it for it. So would I suggest you pick one of these up if you see one and you have the room? Yes. The only thing I'm going to say is just keep your expectations a little bit lower. I'm not poo-pooing on this TV. Just because of me and my experiences, it didn't quite live up to the hype for me. It is still a great set. So if you're into retro gaming, yeah, I would definitely pick one of these things up for the right price. I wouldn't. I know some people I read travel hours to pick one of these up, or they'll pay hundreds. I wouldn't go that far. You know, if it's within an hour of you and it's free to maybe like $50, I'd do it. Like I said, just don't have too high of expectations, and calibrate. Get the remote. If it doesn't come with a remote, you can find them online. This is the This is the RMY180 remote, and you can look it up. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but there's like you have the TV off and you put in this code and hit power and you'll get a service menu. And you can do adjustments to like vertical and horizontal geometry and stuff like that. And then you could play around with colors too to get it, fine tune it, and that should fix a lot of problems. The one thing, like here, I'm not crazy about the text sometimes on this TV. I don't know why. Sometimes it comes out it's okay. But it almost feels like my JVC set actually it's funny because when I did that video I was complaining that it wasn't a sharp image, but it did text well. It just seems like the text sometimes on this set is a little bit blurry, especially in the corner. But I guess that's normal. Oh yeah, I do want to address something right off the bat with this TV. It is a flat screen, unlike the JVC I talked about last time that was curved. Some people do not like that. Some people say that the flat screens has more geometry issues. It's been my experience that flat screens I feel that that's overblown, and I feel, it's nostalgia for the curved tube. There's no game that's really going to play different. I don't have a problem with the flat screen. I actually prefer it. I think the geometry issues are a little bit overblown. It feels like curved tubes have almost just as many geometry issues. Maybe these things have slightly more, but you can correct them. So don't let that scare you. And one more thing, there's a thing going around. It's a myth. Maybe a myth that just won't die about flat screen TVs and light guns. Alright, so here, flat screen TV with the Duck Hunt. The Duck Hunt. Let's see. That doesn't look good. Light gun zapper. Ready? Wow, it works. Yep. So yeah, light gun games work on flat screen CRTs that are SD. So I have done some researching on the issue, and the thing is, I think a lot of people get confused with HD TVs, because all the HD TVs and HD CRTs are flat screens. And of course, because of the little bit of input lag, light gun games do not work on HD CRTs. So I think a lot of people just thought, well, they don't work on flat screens at all, but that is not true. Light gun games do work on flat screen SD TVs. Now, after doing some researching, there's still people that claim, up and down, they swear that they had a flat screen CRT that was SD and their light gun games didn't work. But no one can give me a model, so I can't actually test this. It's always like, oh, I had an RCA set, or I had so-and-so Samsung set, but no one can give me an exact model, so I can't actually go track down one of these TVs and test it for you guys. Now, I did hear a fairly plausible theory about why maybe some of these flat screen sets actually don't work with light gun games, and that is apparently some manufacturers at the time were experimenting with higher refresh rates, or kind of like non-standard refresh rates, to kind of eliminate flicker. And so some of these sets incorporated that, which kind of added a little bit of input lag, thus the guns do not work on those sets. But again, no one can give me an exact model of an SD flat screen where it actually doesn't work, so I can't test that. But that is a theory of why it actually might not work on some flat screen sets. But how does this, oh, you have to click him. I actually never played this game before, but as you can see on the KV-32FV310, FV310, whatever, light guns work fine. So that's another plus on for this television. Okay, so yes, I do use flash carts. I own a lot of these carts, but it's just easier, especially since I got a lot of carts in storage. But as you can see, it's not super straight. It feels like it kind of bends down here at the bottom, which again is a fixable geometry issue. I thought the first one, here it is. I think I showed this on the Samsung set, so we'll see how it looks on this set. You can't see him. He's crying because he can't get up on the bed. For some reason, he's afraid to jump. You can jump. You can make it. Anyways. So here we have Ninja Gaiden. Looks pretty good. I had this with the Samsung. You have these little bit of garbage bars on the side. I think forget what that's called, overscan or underscan. I don't know if that can be corrected, but nice image. It's still really good. See, text looks fine here. I think it's just me and like certain games where I was seeing the text and it seemed blurry, but it seems really fine here. So and that's really about all I have to say for this set, really. I guess, yeah, I mean, it was worth picking up. It is a nice set. Like I said, it's just not a PVM. So I'm just gonna finish up here with some more PS2, you know, showing you some PS. Now, the PS2 is running through the component cables too, so I think this is a 480i game here. I showed this off on the JVC, so we can just sort of compare it here on the Trinitron. So here it is, the KV-xxFV310, supposedly the best SD consumer set ever made. Thank you for watching. If you just want to see some more gameplay and the TV, just keep watching, but I'll shut up now. So thanks again.